Hello, lovely ones. So I'm diving on a video super quick to actually have a little bit of a break, having a bit of a tea break from my dark night of the soul. I've been dark night and the soul in it for like 2 weeks now. And I'm just, quite frankly, I'm so tired of dying, and I keep saying I want to live, but it doesn't actually look like that's going to happen today. I think I very much just need to just go, well, another day, another death, you know? But that's why I wanted to do this video, because I feel absolutely terrible on the physical, the mental, emotional, the spiritual, every single level, every single dimension. It's core issue stuff, you know? And I just want to share with you what's going on at this end, because it may be the same for you. And then we can actually, like I say, share with the group, swap notes, and maybe you're not going mental, okay? But there are also a lot of people that are actually vibing and like flying high and in creative mode and all the rest of it, which is awesome, because they hold it down for us and vice versa. When we're going through it, they're holding the space. When they're going through it, we're holding the space, because it's the principle of polarity. That's how it goes. So I am doing this video. I just wanted to take a break from my spiritual drama and get onto a video to actually share in the moment, because I think we've got a little bit of a way to go yet, and I'm trying to wait until I feel a bit better to do a video, but each day doesn't seem to be showing me that, so I need to do it now. So basically, solar flares, let's start there. So the solar flares, they have been going like a mofo for like 2 weeks now. So solar meaning sun energy, light energy coming in, hitting our energy fields, hitting our physical bodies. When the light comes in, the dark has got to get out. And it's just like this, we're really at the, I keep saying it, but we truly are. The completion of this year, the next 4 months, you know, as we kind of like wrap it up, you know, every full moon, every portal that's opening is just hitting us so hard, so we can get to the bottom of all this shit finally, so we can tip the scales. So that's why it's so intense, you know? So if it feels like that for you and you feels like you're a million miles away, it's quite the contrary. It's only hottest when you're stood right near the fire, right? We're nearly there, you know? So the solar flares have been coming in. They even called it a solar tsunami a week or so ago. It just goes to show how intense it's been. Now this weekend has been like super strong as well. To do with that, like, you know, the levels have just been off the charts. You can go onto Instagram, there's loads of people that do kind of like frequency updates and things like that. It is crazy what is out there and what we're being told, because I can feel it. So yeah, and also with that, it's the closing of the Lion's Gate. Now I've always said the Lion's Gate opens on the 26th, and it's open for a good month. And I kind of always feel the shift kind of going around about the 22nd, but like some people say the 26th, which is a couple of days ago. So either or, it's been open for a good month, and the Lion's Gate was all about acceptance of core power. Now, don't get it twisted. When we say, oh yeah, acceptance of core power, that sounds mighty divine, doesn't it? As somebody puts a nice crown on your head, and it's like, no, that's not really how it goes. We usually end up basically being acceptance of core power looks like you lying on a bed with a blanket over you and a flannel on your face because you've got a headache and you're just purging. So that's the acceptance of core power, because you're like pushing through it, and like, you know, you rise like a phoenix from the ashes. So that's what we've been doing over the Lion's Gate. And we've had pockets of just huge creativity and like massive expansion and contraction. So that's what's been happening. So of course, as we close on the Lion's Gate, we move into this kind of completion energy. Now that energy, like as of now, pretty much, is going to run until the 9th. Well, we're going to move into that on the 9th of the 9th. So basically the 9th of September, completion energy. So it's still running. But the Lion's Gate portal closure all along with this new moon, and quite frankly, this new moon a few days ago basically was like a full moon for me. If you hadn't told me any different, I would have said it was a full moon. It's completely, was it yesterday or the day before? It matters not. I just know that it just sent me into the darkest place of myself, and I'm very unwell at the moment with very powerful, very sore physical ailments. And it's just gotten more and more intense. And, you know, to actually just be still in that and accept that and just allow it to flow. Hardest thing I've ever done. So if you're also feeling that in your body, you're not on your own, right? But I know that it's actually leaving my body. It's not coming into my body. So that's a very important thing to remember. So as we come out of like the Lion's Gate closing and we kind of like move into completion energy, wrapped up in this new moon, which is like super duper powerful, every single layer of intense waves that we get. Remember, you don't go through this much shit for nothing. You don't. It just doesn't happen. You don't go for this. You got to keep the faith. If you've got hope, you've got nothing, you know. And it's been a challenge for me. And I like to move. I don't say I'm pretty much a warrior, but I've been finding it really intense last 2 weeks. But I know that it is all for a means to an end, right? Now, for what you could be experiencing if you're in the shadow and everything like that, extreme anger. There's been a lot of anger, a lot of deep rage, just so much fire. Do you know what I mean? But in the shadow sense, you know? And then obviously your tiredness, your physical ailments. What you're also going to find as well, which is very, very interesting, because I've been talking about this a lot, that when you, the very thing, like what's your current state right now? What does life look like to you? Like, you know, I was having a conversation with somebody the other day and they were like, there's just no joy. I just feel like everything is stuck, it's stagnant, it's the same. Whereas like my experience and my view of the world was just complete disillusionment, because like there's so many things I want to create and I feel like I'm only working at 10% and I'm never going to get there. So I wasn't feel stagnancy. My experience was completely different. And then somebody else down the line is going to be in the depths of loss and just heartache and pain because they don't have a beloved in their life or whatever. Do you know what I mean? But we all have these really intense perceptions right now on what life looks like. Now that will pretty much be showing you what your core issue is. So the very thing that you're living in, or the very thing you're fighting against to not go into, is actually the golden key, because that's the level that we're at now. So your life will be speaking that to you, because that is the thing that you're going to be clearing. That is the massive foundation, your shadow foundation, which is basically waiting to be transmuted. You're actually there. So if you're like feeling that stagnancy and no joy, that's going to be what I call the core issue of the soul path. Do you know what I mean? Like with mine, it's all about creation. I mean, that's what my work does. I help conscious creators create, but I want to go to this next level now. And I feel like I just can't get there. And it's so frustrating. So mine's all about creating. And then, like I say, the next person, it could be just to do with money and just lack of that. But it's your core issue. So if you actually just take a moment to actually perceive and understand what's going on, that you're almost fighting so hard to not go there and have that experience. Now, my worst nightmare is not being able to create. Maybe your worst nightmare is basically not having a dime in the bank. Maybe your worst nightmare is basically, you know, being on your own, not being in a relationship. Whatever it is, it's your core issue. Now, here's the golden key. A lot of my friends and my peeps, my close friends, the very thing that they've been trying to avoid by just like trying to stay on top of it has actually become a reality. And now they're like, oh my God, this has now happened. Oh, and it's a nightmare. But at the same time, there's actually a beauty in it, because the very thing that you fear and the last door you want to walk through, the thing you've been fighting so hard to not be or experience, guess what? That's the key, that's the gateway, that's the doorway to your next level. And isn't it funny? Because it's the last door it's the door we don't want to walk through. We've gone through all of the others, but we're not doing that one. But it's that one that's going to take you there. And I mean, look, I'm not saying that I'm running through my door like happily going, yeah, but I know I have to. So what am I talking about here? Surrender, just letting it all just crash around you and just go, shit, oh well, just let it take me. And that is very much Anubis energy. Anubis has been with me very, very much. And it's all been about going into the darkness and actually just like, it's okay. And I had a channel vision the other day. I have a mad dog who's actually a big black Swiss shepherd, and he's the bane of my life because he's so naughty. But he came in my vision, in my channel, because he's very much my familiar that I work with, and he showed me, and I was running into this sludgy mud, and there was lots of water, and I was like, this is horrible. But when I dived in, it was actually beautiful, and the water was warm, and I just went into all this darkness, and I just felt so held. I mean, gosh, on paper it's like, no, we don't want to go there, but he took me there. And it was the very place that I didn't want to go. So this is the point. It's like just to allow the surrender to come in. Just let go. Just let go. Stop trying to fix it. Okay. And then moving on, because like I say, I've got a list. So there's that. So surrender is key. And then twin flames. So essentially we are all twin flames. We have our, what I call our frontliners, who basically really are living it to try and unlock all of those levels so that others can actually access their twin flame frequency, which is essentially the divine masculine and feminine balance within, you know. So my husband's very much my twin flame and I'm his. He lives in Zimbabwe, I live in here at Cape Town, and it's quite funny because for 8 years we've lived in 2 different countries, and I don't know, we've been married for 21 years and I'm like, so this is the new normal. But what is very interesting, and I want to share our experiences, we have always triggered each other, okay? Because that's what sacred counterparts do, right? And you'll find that in your relationships. You trigger and you go, oh, that was stingy sore, and they reflect back to you the shit you don't want to see, and then you kind of trigger them back, and you do the same. But what is very, very interesting is we have both come into a place where he's in Zimbabwe, I'm here, and we have both hit our dark nights of the soul and our pain, and it's exactly the same in the area of the heart. Physical ailments and pain he's got. He's had a power of 3 healing sessions there on certain days. I've had the power of 3 healing sessions this side, and we've had our healings. We received our healings with different healers on the same days for the same things, and we are reflecting back to one another exactly the same issues, you know, not supported, forgotten about, unloved, you know, just sad, you know, like it goes on and on, but we are reflecting. So we're not triggering, we're both going through the same thing at the same time, and we're just like Eeyore out of Winnie the Pooh, just both staring at each other like, and I need a little bit of Tigger to come along, to be honest, because I like to bounce. So what I'm saying is, the reason I'm sharing that with you is it's a very, very powerful indication that there is a profound shift in the twin flame frequency, which means the divine masculine and feminine is coming into balance, because that has never happened before. In the 21 years that I have been married to him, and 21 years we have understood our twin flame connection, like, you know, it's like that's never happened. It's usually been like a game of ping pong, and they are talking about the divine masculine and feminine. It's already come into union. Now, what usually happens with that frequency or frequencies, once it's happened up there, it takes a little bit of a while to land in the physical, right? So you'll probably find that we're gonna hear about this in the next 6 months. Do you know what I mean? You're gonna start to see it play out on the physical world in a very, very profound way. So apparently it's happening, you know, but I just wanted to share the twin flame experience between me and my husband, because that has never happened before. We are both going through our pain. We're walking exactly the same pain together. We're not triggering each other. It's like we've worked all the way down, and we've come now to this spot. Whereas we've just been here for so long, and now I think that we've got to that point. So that's very, very powerful, you know, place to be. And I'm observing it and watching it the whole way. Now, before I sign off, I've actually posted a video to help you. It's called Journey Back to Wholeness, and it's a short meditation tool to help you integrate your soul parts back. You know, if you're struggling in that, just to bring your soul parts back home. Very, very cool little tool to listen to in a meditation. So please make use of that. And maybe I'll call this video Journey Back to Oneness or Journey Back to Wholeness. I never remember what I call my meditations. But anyway, you'll see it in the Get Activated playlist. But other than that, keep on trucking, man. And I will share again when I'm feeling a little bit more like Tigger and I'm going to be bouncing. Love and light, y'all. Chat later.